But that was under a unitary system of government. With a devolved government, there's no need for Kura and Kera. Kura and Kera should be under the counties. It does not make any sense that somebody is sitting in Nairobi and has got roads in Mombasa town. Somebody is sitting in Nairobi and has got roads in Kisumu which cannot be touched by the government. Within Nairobi town itself, city itself, so many roads there are not under Nairobi county government. They're under national government. That's why it's so inefficient.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the backstory. If you're new here, kindly hit the subscribe button and the notification bell down below so that you can be notified whenever we post a new video. Now ladies and gentlemen, it seems like there is going to be a serious clash between President William Ruto and the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. Why am I saying so? This is after a very close confidant of Raila Odinga, who is Governor NYONG'O. He has today come out and has written a letter to President William Ruto. Remember, people have been saying that, I've been trying to criticize the likes of Orengo, and I've been trying to say that Orengo is trying to clash with Raila Odinga politically. But now, one thing that I want you guys to know that NYONG'O is a very close confidant of Raila Odinga. And whatever Professor NYONG'O is talking about must have been discussed somewhere by people who are very close to Raila Odinga. But still, whatever NYONG'O has written here was talked about by Raila Odinga during his bodyguard's burial ceremony. So first, let me read to you the letter, then we'll go back and listen to the video where Raila talked of the very, very same things. I think President William Ruto took it lightly and he assumed whatever Raila talked about. But NYONG'O has come out to write the very, very things that Raila talked about. And the same today, Cherargei has also written to NYONG'O criticizing him and telling him off. So let's read what NYONG'O has talked about. NYONG'O, in his letter to President William Ruto, has told President William Ruto that kindly allow governors to manage devolution. And I read the letter. This is in reference to the ongoing spat between the county governments and the national government over the management of roads fund. The Kenya Urban Roads Authority, that is KURA, and the Kenya Rural Roads Authority, KERA, need not exist if the national government is prepared to fully implement devolution. He goes on to say that the counties manage health effectively and efficiently, while the national government cannot even manage the Kenyatta National Hospital. Underline that. That is very bold. That the counties manage health effectively and efficiently, while the national government cannot even manage Kenyatta National Hospital, one of the very few health entities in its hands. He goes on to say that the truth is that Ruto's regime has decided to go back to pre-devolution times of Nyayo era. Those are that is the Moi era. And he goes on to say that the 2010 constitution is a hindrance to its primitive accumulation schemes. That is President William Ruto's primitive accumulation schemes, which will affect not only devolution, but the very ethos of building a national democratic and developmental state. The Council of Governors and all progressive forces in our republic need to be aware of this fact and to resist by all means necessary. The achievement of the second liberation must not be destroyed by this regime. That is a direct attack on President William Ruto's presidency. And remember, President William Ruto has a pact with ODM party leader Raila Odinga. So what's happening here? Okay, let's get to Cherargei's reply to NYONG'O. So Cherargei, who is a close confidant of President William Ruto, has replied to Kisumu Governor NYONG'O by saying that while we want devolution to work for prosperity of our country, Professor NYONG'O should not personalize attacks against the president, that is President Ruto's administration. He should ask his colleagues in the Council of Governors to account for the ballooning corruption, poor development performance, and insatiable greed for public funds in our counties. They are the biggest threat to devolution and flourishing of devolution. So now, ladies and gentlemen, there is a conflict. But one thing that I want you guys to realize here is that, you know, President William Ruto must understand how Raila works. Before Raila comes out openly to talk about something, his lieutenants will talk first. So it started with Sifuna, then Orengo, then now NYONG'O is very close, has now also come out to talk about the same. But I want us to go back to the video where Raila talked about the same issue that NYONG'O has raised, that is the issue of Kera, Kura, and devolution.
But even the other one, infrastructure. Your Excellency, I'm the one who was Minister for Roads and Public Works, came up and created these agencies, Kenha, Kura, and Kera. Because of the bureaucracy at that time, things were so centralized under the Ministry of Education, and the permanent secretary is the accounting officer. Things were very inefficient, were not working. So the World Bank, we worked together and created these agencies. But that was under a unitary system of government. With a devolved government, there's no need for Kura and Kera. Kura and Kera should be under the counties. It does not make any sense that somebody is sitting in Nairobi and has got roads in Mombasa town. Somebody is sitting in Nairobi and has got roads in Kisumu which cannot be touched by the government. Within Nairobi town itself, city itself, so many roads there are not under Nairobi county government. They're under national government. That's why it's so inefficient. It's so inefficient. Let us devolve funds to the counties. And as I was told the MPs, and I disagree. CDF, national government, give that CDF national government, but to the counties, not to the MPs. Full levy. Members of Parliament, Your Excellency, have no business constructing roads. The role of a member of Parliament is clearly stated. Representation, legislation, and oversight.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you listen to that video carefully, you'll be able to tell that Professor NYONG'O has just projected what Raila was talking about. So it seems like the pact between President William Ruto and Raila Odinga is almost coming to an end. Why? Because Raila's lieutenants are already coming out. So the only thing that is remaining is for Raila himself to come out and speak up. He tried talking about it and he thought that maybe President William Ruto was going to address some of these issues. And this might be just a tip of the iceberg. There could be so many things simmering down, and if they are not addressed by President William Ruto's handlers, then it will explode. And if it explodes, what happens next? It means we are going back to a situation whereby President William Ruto becomes desperate and tries and tries to look for an alternative. And which alternative does he have right now? I know so many people are saying that, oh, Orengo, Sifuna are kind of are not loyal. But in the previous video, I told you that ODM is Raila Odinga and Raila Odinga is ODM. Whatever Sifuna talks about, whatever Orengo talks about, must have been discussed somewhere before they even speak it up. It must have been discussed somewhere with the blessings of Raila Odinga. So somehow Raila Odinga was part of it, and for them to speak up, like take for example, Sifuna talked about these very issues in the presence of Raila and RUTO. When Orengo also came up, he talked about the very same issues in the presence of Raila and RUTO. So it means these guys must have discussed all these issues somewhere, and with the blessings of Raila Odinga, they had to speak them up. Raila also came up, brushed off some of the issues, and talked about the very, very issues that NYONG'O has talked about here. So it means even in their setup, that is in their agreement, it seems like there is no communication between the two. Or if there is communication, then there is one partner who is trying to ignore the other and is implementing issues without consulting. I don't think there is an issue of consultation, but there must have been issues that they agreed upon that maybe President William Ruto is not acting on. And that is why Raila and his lieutenants are now coming out to attack President William Ruto. So what is now remaining here is for Raila himself to come out openly and start attacking President William Ruto. So these are very interesting times, ladies and gentlemen. We'll keep monitoring what's going on, and we'll keep you guys updated. But if you want to be updated regularly and you are still new here, kindly hit the subscribe button and the notification bell down below so that you can be notified whenever I post a new video. Until next time, bye bye.